he's going to be a target beast there. I think he's going to get more targets in a PPR league. He's going to be a beast his rookie year.
You son of a gun, stealing my pick. See, this is what our listeners have to remember when they're in this spot. You know, you're going up against a guy who has back-to-back picks. If you want a guy, you take him because you never know if he's going to get taken with the next 2 picks. With that being said, I love your MVS pick. He certainly has a lot of potential. I didn't realize how big he is until recently. Man, he's a big guy and he can run. So
4.3 HP, baby.
And he fits statistically wise. Dave and I have also made this point that isn't, widely popularized, that he has all the same statistics as all of the guys drafted in later rounds outside of the first round in recent Packer
history. Jennings, Jones, all of them.
James Jones, all those guys had similar numbers in their rookie year and then took huge leaps because of, they were already pretty talented. So he's a guy I don't think is getting enough credit because we notice his numbers match up with guys that took big jumps with those same numbers.
Well, and as far as Hockenson goes, I mean, I'm not normally a fan of rookie tight ends, but man, with some of the other options on the board, I think you're getting one of the younger, fresher guys. And with that first-round investment, I mean, they either use them or lose them, right? You don't want to have another Ebron on your hands.
Ooh, hey, Ebron's producing out in Indy.
Ebron has showed up and showed out. They don't look very intelligent for the way they used him because he looked like a stud last year. I hate to say it, and I was down on him even when they drafted him, but he showed up last year. I mean, if he does it again, we're going to have to kind of say, okay, we were wrong on that guy.
New face, new place sometimes fixes it.
That's true. Good point.
Dylan, I think you're up, buddy.
I am up. Jay was joking around, saying he might take a defense, and he made me a little nervous for that one because although I'm still searching for a tight end myself, I think I am going to go ahead and take one of the better defenses in this division, and that would be the Chicago Bears. That's right. The Bears were first in the league as far as points against last year, held opponents to a mere 17.7 points per game.
Fangio.
I love them.
No Vic Fangio.
And having Clinton Dix.
No Vic Fangio.
Open wide receivers.
No Vic Fangio.
Oh, jeez.
The Redskins' defense was one of the top-ranked defenses the week before got there. 3 weeks later, it was ranked 27th. You tell me. You tell me what the factor was. You tell me. Film don't lie. Bad angles, can't tackle. Bad. We watched him for 5 years. Bad. Great guy. Love the guy. Great person. Does great stuff.
Great community guy, but bad player.
Awesome person. Bad safety. I played safety. I could watch the guy make the wrong play before he could get 3 steps into it, and I would throw shit at the TV. Bad. Just bad. Great guy.
Jay.
That being said,
he's gone.
Apparently the players are taking well to him. You still got guys like Freddie Jackson in the back. You still got guys like Khalil Mack who are going to get me those ultra-valuable strip sacks, defensive touchdowns. I'm taking the Bears, guys, like it or not.
I got to point out one more thing.
I like that you take them.
I got to point out one more thing. Pagano hasn't had a top 10 defense or even top 15 defense since 2011. His Colts defenses were horrid. Now you downgrade from Amos to HaHa, meanwhile you put HaHa Clinton Dix, who's horrible at run defense and horrible at crossing routes underneath, and they're going to put him at a strong safety. Bad move, Bears fans. And then on top of that, you add in Buster Skrine, who gave up 124.9 passer rating when he was with the Jets last year in nickel cornerback. Guess where the Bears put him? Nickel cornerback. So I expect Rodgers to eat that up in week 1 in the middle. But nonetheless, I just don't see anything. I get it, players are buying into Pagano's defense, But I just feel Fangio was the Rodgers whisperer, and he did really good success against Rodgers throughout his career. I don't think Pagano's the guy. It's just me.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. I still like them. I like the opportunities for sacks and picks. I don't think they lost too much in talent. And like I said, number one in points against last year. So I like them. What do you got, Mr. Back-to-Back, up next?
Ooh, let's
Who's on
see.
your mind?
I am going to go with the Packers defense because I think it's going to be revamped. I think Mike Pettin has enough talent this year to place a top 15 defense on the field to get the turnovers, to get the sacks. I'm not saying anyone's going to come out and be a 15-sack monster, but you have Zadarius Smith added, Preston Smith, Rashawn Gary, Kenny Clark's still there, and then you got all the new DBs that got added in. Amos, Savage added in with Jair, Jackson, Tony Brown. Tramon Williams is going to be playing nickel cornerback. 2 years ago when he played nickel cornerback in Arizona, he was the number 2 nickel cornerback in the league. I think this defense, especially Blake Martinez in the middle, I think they're going to be getting a lot of turnovers. I think sacks are going to come in from everyone on the defensive front for the front seven. I don't think it's going to be one person showing out. I think it's going to be all of them. And Mike Pettin knows how to bring pressure from different angles. I'm really hyped up about the defense. Yeah, I'm being a homer. So what?
You are being such a homer. I cannot believe in this legitimate 3-man mock draft, you just took the Green Bay Packers over the Vikings defense.
It's not Dom Capers' defense no more, boys.
Oh, my gosh.
And then for my second pick, I'm going with the Lions kicker, that former alcoholic.
He's a good kicker.
Wow.
Yes, the guy he's tied for the longest field goal in NFL history. The guy is nicknamed something like the Iron Leg from college or something like that. I mean, I'm down for that. I know I'm going to get my field goals.
So you just because the Vikings kicker also plays in a dome, so I'm curious. You just like this guy's leg?
Can you show me which Vikings kicker that can kick in a dome or outside? Oh, you can't tell me because they can't kick to save a game.
All right. So did the dome play into it, or did you just
Does the term say he washed it mean anything to you?
Fair enough. All right, I'm not going to take.
I'm sorry, I had to.
Yeah. I'm going to take a different tight end who's a little bit younger with a lot of opportunity, and that is Mr. Trey Burton of the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, the former Eagle. I knew it was going to go there.
You had to. What do you think about that, Jay?
Yeah. In that offense, he does well. He fits well with what they do. I mean, he's overpaid, but you got to pay a lot of players in free agency, and he fits well in that offense. It's not a terrible pick.
Well, real quick, why did you like Hockenson over Burton?
Because I said from every mock draft I did from the beginning to the end, whether people thought I was crazy or not, I only put Hockenson in one place and for one reason, and that was in Detroit because he was their Gronk. And what has Brady always leaned on, and who's been the biggest target monster outside of Welker and Edelman? It's been Gronk. I mean, he's just consistent, and that's what this guy is. He's not flashy. He doesn't depend on his speed. He doesn't depend on his athleticism. He's just bigger and stronger than you and still is fast enough and athletic enough to get down the field a lot quicker. And he's just monstrous. He boxes you out, and I think once he figures it out in the league, he might have some rough patch. He's going to be a monster, especially in Detroit. They don't have a lot there in Detroit right now that in the offense they want to run, it's still building, and he's going to be a big piece in that right away.
Burton, to me, I read a report from last year that bothered me a little bit, and that's why I stayed away from the tight end right now, Hockenson, great blocker, but we got to see how he develops into the passing game for them, so it kind of held me off. But Burton, I read a report that he does not like blocking and got into it with Nagy on the sidelines last year, so that's why I was like, Yeah, more receiving, tight end, I got that, but still, I mean, in that offense, you're going to have to block. And when your tight end you signed for big money comes out and says, I'm not going to block, well, I mean, just kind of shows something.
That's fair. I mean, for fantasy purposes, they don't give you points for blocking, but you do have to be on the field in the first place, so I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, and just the simple fact you must do one part without the other. That's just it.
Yeah. How are you going to round out your roster here, Jay? Still looking for a defense, still looking for a kicker?
Well, I am going to make this pretty easy. I'm going to go with the Vikings defense because I believe in them better than I do the Detroit defense, period. And then it's kind of hard because the other kickers are just terrible, so that really leaves me, and I'm not even sure this guy's going to be our kicker necessarily at this point, but he's better than the other ones left, so it's obviously Crosby for me.
I like it, Mr. Crosby. I like the opportunity. That Green Bay offense, you're always going to be within field goal range, it seems like, even though it's still outdoors, it gets pretty windy, it gets pretty snowy, but Crosby's a solid pick. For my last pick, and as with everyone else, I mean, listen, fantasy world, don't be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and draft a kicker far too earlier than you have to.
That's mean.
I'm going to take of the Minnesota Vikings, Dane Bailey.
Well,
D, how you gonna round out your draft here? You got two options between basically Kyle Rudolph and Jimmy Graham.
Oh, I'm taking Kyle Rudolph.
Ooh.
You could have took Sternberger.
That won't be a part of the offense this year as much as you think. Robert Tonyan has been taking tight end 1 reps, while Jimmy Graham has been off the field turning camp so far. Big Bob Tonyan is looking a big part more than I expected. But I will take Kyle Rudolph, Mr. Dependable. The guy has always seemed to be there for whatever shit quarterback, pardon my French, but shit quarterback the Vikings have given him in the past. I mean, he's played with guys like Christian Ponder, he's always produced. He's always been there. He's been that safety net for anybody that over the past decade with that team. And I respect his play. He's got strong hands, big catch radius. I runs his routes really good, deceptive speed. I like Kyle Rudolph, and I think he's going to get even more targets because they wanted to keep him rather than him holding out and sign him to a extension in the offseason. I think he's going to be a factor in the offense this year.
Oh, Rudolph frustrates the hell out of Packers fans when we have to play him.
Yep.
He's always open and is very dependable.
Even when he's covered, he has this catch radius that's stupid. You can throw it 5 feet out, and he will freaking be there because he has this deceptive agility to gain a couple steps when not expected.
No doubt. Real quick, I will say for fantasy owners in redraft, just watch out for Irv Smith eating into Kyle Rudolph's numbers this year.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I was thinking about, but I think with them extending Rudolph, I think he's more of a receiving threat, and Irv Smith, he's one of the top blockers behind Hawkinson in the draft this year. He blocks really well because of the fact he learned it from Alabama because they run the ball so damn much. I think they're going to use him for blocking to start off with, then work his way into receiving.
Well, guys, I think this went pretty well. I had a lot of fun. I certainly hope you guys did, and I think the listeners will have a good time. And I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty sure I won this one.
No, I think I got it. I think my team's going to whoop everybody up, man. I got the premium quarterback. I got the up-and-comings. This is a PPR league. I got the best value. You overthought it, Dylan. You overthought your own self. You tried to hoodwink us, and in the process, I actually reverse hoodwinked you into making you take players that left me the better players. So.
You drunken mastered me.
I'm just going to let my team show the field. That's all I'm going to do.
Oh wow! You're going to take
Dylan's
a page out of
have this up on
book?
Are you going to put this up on the show account, Dylan, for everybody to vote on?
I am. It'll be up on Twitter. Each of our teams will be on display, and everyone can vote as to who